Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ark. Without a vision for the future, there is no hope of overcoming the digital mother and the tarantulas who sit in her web, quivering with excitement at the further weakening, the further wilting and lessening of the last man. Is there an alternate vision of the future for those who do not wish to follow modern man into his brave new world of comfort and pleasure? What is our vision for the new age? What is our new first principle? Carl Jung believed that paradigm shifts were reactionary and that each age was a shadow of the last. Christian morality, for example, is explicitly anti-Roman and anti-classical. This can be clearly seen in the beasts from Revelation, which represent the conglomerate power of all of the classical empires, from Babylon to Greece, coming to a pinnacle of power and wickedness with Rome and the Emperor Nero. In Revelation, these beasts, with their ruler Satan, are conquered by Michael. In a certain sense, this prophecy came to pass. In the Christian age, everything considered good by the standards of classical morality, earthly empire, conquest, personal power, wealth, embracing the passions, were called evil, and their opposites, the kingdom of heaven, meekness, self-sacrifice, poverty, asceticism, were called good. Therefore, Jung also believed that with the advent of the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, we began moving towards an anti-Christian age, characterized by materialism, rationalism, and rampant ideology. Just as the great conquering beast of Rome came under attack by the spirit with the rise of Christianity, now the spirit would come under attack by reason with the rise of science. The anti-Christian age, our age, is marked by evolutionary theory, the belief in enlightenment and salvation through human reason and technology, and a growing interest in the character of Satan, as seen in Milton's Paradise Lost, Goethe's Faust, and of course Nietzsche and his anti-Christian morality. Jung thought that these paradigm shifts were a natural progression towards a higher end, that they revealed to us the evolution of human consciousness. He believed that each age presented a riddle, a hurdle for the human spirit, and that if we could pass through these ages, like crucibles, without destroying ourselves or regressing to a previous stage, it would lead to the furthering of the human spirit and the collective heightening of human consciousness. Nietzsche also thought that the shift from classical morality to Christian morality was an inversion, and that the rise of Christianity marked the conquest of slave morality over master morality. However, he believed that all of Western philosophy and religion, since Plato, marked a de-evolution of the human spirit, a weakening and a drive towards nothingness and annihilation. Some of Nietzsche's most potent criticisms of Christian morality were as follows. Firstly, it seeks to inhibit the passions and instincts, which leads to a people without energy, without virility, without the drive to conquer the world and to make great things. For Nietzsche, the castration of the instincts and restraint of the passions is only for those too weak to control them and direct them towards greatness. Secondly, Christianity is caught up in metaphysics and the promise of imaginary punishments and rewards. Its metaphysics are founded on the Platonic idea that this world is second to the real metaphysical world and relies on the delusional belief in salvation in the next life. Nietzsche believed that this makes people disembodied and unable to see reality for what it is. And finally, it weakens the individual in exchange for the comfort of the collective by promoting virtues such as self-sacrifice, meekness, poverty, and protecting the weak, all of which lead to the comfort and ease of living for a society, but sacrifice the potential of the individual to become great, thus leading to the overall weakening and degeneration of humanity. This is why Nietzsche sought to develop an explicitly anti-Christian morality. Nietzsche did not believe that we were in an anti-Christian age at all. He believed the modern age to be the logical conclusion of Christianity. The last man, the pod man, the modern man, all the fruits of Christian morality. Imagine a monk kneeling in his dark cell in his coarse robes, weak from fasting, praying to God to protect him from the torments of his passions, comforted by the sweet glimpses of paradise which swim before his eyes, and the thought that in the afterlife he will escape his sickly body and the ache of his abused instincts. This monk is not so different from the pod man, sitting in his mother's dark basement before a computer screen, weak from poor diet and poor sleep, tormented by his passions which he cannot fulfill, yet comforting himself with the beautiful images which pass over the screen, and dreaming of a time when he can interface with computers, escape his weak body, and fulfill his instinctual desires without restraint. It is, of course, important to remember that the beliefs and behaviors of these two imagined characters doubtless misrepresent the ideologies they follow. One could point to the fact that the ideal Christian should value equally the body and the soul, and that technology has great potential to do good for humanity. But the ideal form of Christianity, or the ideal spirit of technology, is not what matters here. What is important to us is how they are used by the masses, and even more so, how they are used by those in power to control the masses. If one controls the passions of a people, one controls a people. To have complete mastery over a people means to be able to frame, without their knowledge, how they express their instincts and where they direct their energy. Both the highly spiritual Christian age, ruled by God the Father, and our highly materialistic digital age, ruled by the Great Mother, have one thing in common: a hatred for the body. These two paradigms fit well into the spirit-matter dichotomy which has developed in Western thought. Therefore, the ideal should be the unification of spirit and matter. But what exactly are spirit and matter? Matter is the earth. It is clay, mud, and rock. Spirit is the heavens. It is associated with air, breath, and unseen forces. Matter and spirit on their own are both lifeless. Matter is heavy and dead. Spirit is light and insubstantial. It is only when spirit and matter are united that life is created in the form of the body. This can be seen in Genesis when God breathes his spirit into the mud to form Adam. During the Christian age, the body was thought of as matter, as earthly, as dead, in contrast with the spirit, which was life and which was eternal. But this is not correct. The body is the unification of spirit and matter. The body is life. Life only exists when incarnate. This idea, present in the creation in Genesis, appears again in the Bible with the incarnation of Jesus. Jesus is fully God and fully man, and it is this conjunction of spirit and matter which makes him divine. A thing must have a will, an energy, a spirit to be alive, but it must also have a material form. Only then can a being exist which is a creator, and which can generate new life from itself. Being embodied is the highest form of divinity, but Christianity could not sustain this doctrine. The incarnation split into the two principles of spirit and matter: Christ, the spirit, the good, and Satan, the body, the evil. This is why Carl Jung was so fascinated by the idea of the conjunctio piscium, the conjunction of the two battling fishes, Christ and Satan. He believed that for any spiritual growth, the West would have to undertake the unification of good and evil, spirit and matter, conscious and unconscious, and even suggested that it would be necessary for Christianity to allow for Satan and Christ to be reconciled in theology. Jung's first principle was the body and the instincts. Jung claimed that religion was a projection of the psyche onto heaven and nature, thus grounding metaphysics in the body and inverting the belief held in the West since Plato that this world is just a shadow of the metaphysical world. Jung said that personified complexes of instincts, the archetypes, are our gods, and that religion does not come from the heavens, but from the unconscious, from the body. Nietzsche hated metaphysics altogether because it speaks of things beyond this world and takes us out of our body. Nietzsche believed that we needed to get our heads out of the heavens and the realm of abstract morality and anti-natural religion and come back down to earth, to the harsh reality of nature. He believed that we needed to become embodied again, like the ancients who acted on their passions without inhibition, that we needed to embrace the instincts and fulfill nature's demand that we become stronger. In Thus Spake Zarathustra, Nietzsche wrote, "There is more wisdom in your body than in your deepest philosophy." Our new first principle is the body. It is life itself. Everything which strengthens and uplifts life is good. All which weakens and pulls down life is evil. By crafting yourself a healthier body, you create a healthier species. It is in the body that both nature and culture are manifest to their highest potential, that life is manifest to its highest potential. And it is in the divine act of creation, the unification of masculine and feminine, that nature and culture regenerate and adapt themselves. Your body has been crafted to perfection over millions of years of evolution, and it is due to your role as a creator and sculptor of life, of your own species, of gods and heroes, and your unrelenting desire to one day stand among the stars that humanity has made it to these heights. The whole history of life is contained within your body. Every god and monster, every height and depth humanity has ever dreamed of is within you, and your hunger for life need not wane. We need not become a weak and lethargic species, finding no meaning in our existence, and having no will to do more than consume and indulge our empty desires. True joy is not found in comfort and pleasure, but in overcoming, in striving ever upwards, in driving life to new heights and summiting ever higher peaks, in creating ever stronger and more beautiful forms. Forms which make nature smile and the heavens weep at their beauty, forms which give meaning to the very earth. We can become creators of a healthy humanity, a thriving humanity, a species which may one day have the privilege of soaring above the stars and counting ourselves among the gods as we bear life throughout our galaxy. Your passions and your instincts are what drives humanity to greatness. That frenzied flame within your chest is life. In passing that flame into the future, burning brighter and more furious than before, you give meaning to all of existence. Your body is divine. Your body is the ark of life.